Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's pick a card reading, which is all about what aspect of self is emerging. Good stuff, right? This is going to be really taking a look at what part of yourself is going to be kind of coming out forth, forthright, front and center is what I was trying to say, making an appearance, strengthening, becoming more dominant in your expression and your personal journey in the next steps ahead. Excuse my burp. So, good stuff today. This could be something that you're aware of. This could be something that you don't see coming. Excuse me. For some, this could be less about what you are integrating and more about what you are releasing. So there is room for these other parts of you to shine. So we're going to see what comes through. I'm really excited. As you can see in the thumbnail, there are 3 options to choose from. I will show you the stones that correlate up close and personal. So for group 1, this is denoted by the Plum Blossom Tourmaline. Group 2 is denoted by the Hemimorphite Tower. I love that color. And group 3 is denoted by the Adventuring Pendant. So take your time, pause the video if you need to, meditate, contemplate on your options. When you have selected one that best resonates with your energy, I was about to say check the timestamps. No, head down to the timestamps in the description box below. And yeah, it'll take you to your selected option. But with that, I'm going to start with group 1. Excuse me. Hi, group 1. So you guys chose the Plum Blossom Tourmaline. I'm just waving it around. So when I go to find the timestamps, I'll be like, oh, there it is. There you go, Sanessa. This is a stone a lot about emotional healing and balance. It's so interesting because I went to record this reading earlier and it just kind of like, I got like really kind of like distracted and like just fractured energy partway through. So I was like, whoa, something's up here. I got to stop and try again later. So I have seen your cards. You're the only group whose cards I've seen, but because I was called to kind of like stop and regroup, no pun intended, I feel like for you guys, there is this energy that what comes through, like you've been in this period of, I feel like you might have some awareness of what's about to come through. You might be kind of like psychically inclined or gifted, or this might be something where this has just been going on for a while. And there is a big message about you've been on a journey, and for some, this has been in the last like 2 years especially. That's what I was kind of getting. Sorry, I'm not trying to flip you off. I was just trying to push my glasses up. And this journey has been about exploring some shadow aspect of self or of your desires. There's something where a lot of you have been on a journey to try to find like your happiness, your like most enlightened self, your highest timeline, something like that. But it's been hard for you. They're showing me right now the 7 of Cups. It's been hard for you to get a good feel for what that actually entails. So if things have not been moving forward in the last few years, that's because you were doing some exploration that was necessary. So when options are presented to you, you can see them for what they really are. Not just like, sorry, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit warm in this room, so I'm a little sweaty. But yeah, it's like you can see things for what they really are, not just the light attributes nor the shadow attributes. This feels like there is something where they're showing me like film negatives. So there was something where you had to look at the, like something was thrown into like a negative space, right? Oppositional space. So you could see it a little bit more clearly, if that makes sense. And this way, when you make decisions, there is a greater awareness, about, even I'm like touching my face a lot as I do your group. So there's a sense here, which I wasn't doing that earlier. There's a sense here of like a lot of adjustments, especially when it's around the face. This could be about how you present yourself, how other people see you. Yeah, like the outlook, it's like giving me like the ascendant kind of vibe, the outlook that you have, as you move throughout the world. There's something here about like, there's been a lot of different challenges to that part of your life. And so you guys are emerging on the other side of that, which is very exciting. You're coming back into balance as well. So let's look at your cards. You have the Sun. Again, I'm sorry, I've seen it. I try not to I don't usually look at the cards beforehand because I like to discover it with you guys, but your group I did see. So we have the Sun, which I love. So some of you might be Leos or have big Leo placements. What I was getting is that for some of you, the Leo full moon that's coming up in a couple of months might be significant. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you find this, it applies, but just from the time I'm filming it, the Leo full moon is in a couple months, and that might be a really significant time frame for you. Yep, we have portal. Doors are opening, you decide, rewards, and wild card. Yeah, I love that. Excuse me, sorry. Practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. She's got a flute, so that might be significant. And teacher. My rule of thumb with this deck is if they come out upright, I focus on the light attributes. Reversed, I focus on the shadow. So, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So I tend to use, this is like a literal archetypes deck, but I tend to use this is the Blood and Honey Major Arcana deck, and I tend to use it kind of like an archetypes deck. So the aspect of self that you're embracing is this really unique kind of middle of the Venn diagram, which is called an intersection, by the way. I had to look that up at one point, and I thought it was going to be more exciting. I had a friend where we were trying to remember what it was called, and I couldn't think of it, and I looked it up later, so then I texted him, and I was like, it's just called an intersection, and he's like, that's oh gosh, that's a disappointing nomenclature for an otherwise exciting diagram. I'm like, right? Fucking right, man? I'm like, yeah. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So you guys are at this really interesting intersection of being somebody who is, you've learned a lot throughout your life on your journey. Some of you have been on a very long-standing karmic release and like learning and release journey. You have learned a lot at a spiritual level. You have a lot of wisdom to offer. Yeah, you have a lot of wisdom to offer. You've had to figure out a lot. There's all the math on the board behind her. You've had to figure out a lot. You've had to kind of put the pieces together. So there's this almost like shaman-esque kind of seemingly oppositional duality of somebody who is wise and learned, but somebody who is wise, somebody who can lead others, somebody who knows a lot, has experienced a lot, with this childlike energy of the sun, right? This is like positivity and happiness, creativity. And so what you are emerging into is this really beautiful, unique, again, intersection of these two things where you can kind of hold space for both of these roles. You might feel like you have this like duality in your upcoming journey where maybe you are leading and teaching others. Sorry, I live in an old house, so the electricity sometimes, like, you know, like the electricity decides to kind of come and go as it pleases. So sometimes my overhead light will get brighter, and sometimes it will just like get dimmer on its own. So it just like popped on and got even brighter. So there's some confirmation where, again, you might be leading and teaching others, helping them find their aha moment. But you're in this, I feel like for some, you're going to be in this place where you're going to be leading and teaching others, either in a professional capacity, as part of your spiritual work, possibly both. You could literally be a teacher, a mentor, or you could be like pursuing that career. But it feels like in your own life as a person, you're going to be embodying this sun energy. And I love the sun anyway, but I just love the version in this deck, right? I always like to imagine she's laying on the ground and like looking up at the clouds and just like having a great time. There also feels like there's a sense where, again, there's a duality where you're going to be in this teaching role. I'm drawn into the word experience. So again, you're going to be using your experiences to help guide other people. But you're going to also be practicing something having to do with the solar energy, right? So this could be a creative skill. What is this sun energy that you're going to be practicing? Queen of Swords reverse, letting your guard down. The Emperor reverse. Wow, yeah, this is all about surrender. This is about softening. A lot of you guys have had to like be on top of your shit. And it's like you couldn't catch a break. I want to look at this card but not take it. We have the Six of Wands. Yeah, you've been like trying really hard to, I'm feeling like pull a win out of thin air. I know, it's not where we thought it was going to come out of. But to pull a win kind of seemingly out of thin air. And I feel like what this new cycle is about with the sun and then these two cards reversed, there's more I'm going to look at in a sec, is a sense of, again, a softening, not needing to always be on your guard, because upright, this combination is like, you can't get anything past them. They are going to call you on your BS into another dimension, right? Nothing gets past you. Nothing, you know, you're not putting up with a lick of bullshit. And so there's this sense here of this new cycle being about being able to kind of soften and surrender, being able to get more in touch with your inner child. The Nine of Cups, to find what would make you happy. The Knight of Swords. And the King of Pentacles reversed. You know what's so funny is the first time I recorded it, this reading, these three cards came out reversed. So again, there's something here where like, I feel like there could be something from your past that's coming back around that you're more prepared for. But there's a sense here of like overcoming significant challenges. Because with this portal energy, you know, doors are opening, you decide, rewards, and wild card. You have the experience, you're going to be going through this portal that's all about you manifesting your kind of your desires, right? The rewards. We see this with the Nine of Cups. This could involve another person, because usually, well, this card's very much about personal like satisfaction. There's two cats on this card. So this could involve another person where things have kind of shifted and changed, but more than anything else, this is all about getting to decide what you want to do. You guys, like I said, may have closed out a long-standing karmic cycle where things kept falling through because there were lessons that had to be learned. And even in this teacher card, she's got a globe that's cracked open. It makes me think of the world. So again, you've learned a lesson that's very, very significant. You've wrapped up a huge cycle, and now it feels like the rewards are coming through. And with this wild card energy as well, things are going to kind of like both surprise you, but you're going to be able to act more freely than you have in the past. Again, that Queen of Swords, Emperor combination, you've had to learn a lot. You've had to learn to be very discerning. You've had to learn to take control. You've had to learn to make good long-term decisions, been working on like boundary work, all this stuff. And now you're able to kind of release that and again, soften. Because the Nine of Cups, Knight of Swords, and the King of Pentacles, this is really where, especially the placement was like this, you're going to be able to go after and reach for your dreams and desires and create long-term stability in that area. And so this like armor and this guard is no longer going to be necessary. So with all of this clarifying the Sun, the part of you that's emerging is, you may have been doing like a lot of inner child healing, but the part of you that's emerging is the part that gets to play, gets to have fun, gets to go after what they want and actually build something for themselves as a result. I want to clarify this teacher card because I kind of want to get a better feel for what you're really going to be kind of like teaching and passing on to others. Seven of Cups. And the Hierophant reverse. Okay, I feel like the Devil in reverse at the bottom. What's beneath that? The Nine of Pentacles reversed beneath that. I feel like a lot of you guys have been in a cycle where, again, there's been a lot of options. There's been a lot of illusions. You've been trying to figure out what way to go. A lot of you have had to, with the Hierophant reverse, and then the Devil reversed, and beneath that, the Nine of Pentacles was reversed. A lot of you have had to navigate this confusion, this like elusive quality, by sticking true to yourself, right? A lot of you guys have had to figure out, when do I stand firm in my beliefs, my commitment to something, versus when do I, you know, when is my loyalty, my commitment a detriment? This is kind of like something that you're asking. Some of you may have had like things that you had to give up on. It's like, oh, I made a promise. I committed to this, but there's a lot of like toxic. I'm just going to take these because I'm going to keep gesturing to them. But there's a lot of toxicity. Yeah, temperance. It's been all about balance. So some of you have had to really let go of that. Some of you have had to, you know, you've had like a lot of, again, illusions, a lot of different choices. And it's been a journey of learning the spiritual lessons, all about self-worth here, and letting go of what keeps you from living your own like best life, but like living your most abundant timeline, right? This is all about self-worth, self-respect. And so you've been on a journey to really like understand and release any sense of commitment or obligation to things that keep you feeling like crap about yourself. So as a result, a lot of you are going to be teaching other people in one way or another, teaching other people how to stand firm in who they are, how to know themselves, how to separate themselves out from things that are distracting, right? For some, there's a sense here with the devil where this could have been like toxic relationships, like addictions, unhealthy patterns that you have beaten, you have moved past. And so the way you're going to be guiding and teaching others, again, whether in like a professional capacity or just like, you know, as part of your spiritual work, excuse me, is about sharing your journey with other people that has taken you like your journey. Let me try this again. Sharing your journey with other people toward your authenticity and the process of releasing, like recognizing your own worth and value, recognizing what you want, and the process of releasing all that was standing in the way of having that. It's making me think of Halloween Town. Magic is wanting something and letting yourself have it. So this is what I feel like you're going to be teaching other people in some way, shape, or form. So this is kind of what I'm seeing for you guys. The self that you're emerging into is somebody who's able to kind of be a lot softer, more creative, more open, more receptive, I feel. As well as there's a sense of a lot more joy, a lot more happiness, a lot more positivity. I'm also getting, you know, if there's a sense, because we had wild card on the portal card here. If you're taking risks, if you're taking kind of like, you're like, oh, let's roll the dice, see what happens. There's a greater sense of positivity. And I feel like this comes from, with this teacher energy, this comes from you having confidence in yourself to overcome the obstacles. You've built a lot more confidence in yourself than you've had in the past. Excuse me. So I think that's everything I'm seeing for group 1. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll get the chance to read for you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 2. Okay, so you guys chose the Hemimorphite Tower. Normally this for me can be a crystal all about kind of like emotional grounding. I feel a lot of positivity coming off this. Normally like this one can kind of be like a little more somber of a vibe. I feel like positivity. There's something where I feel like you are emerging into this version of self where you're emotionally recharged. You may have been very burnt out. I don't know, I'm getting the word dry. So there's a sense here, some of you, it's like I've cried so many tears, my eyeballs are dry. I don't know why I'm getting that. Or like, you know, there's water in the tarot always represents our emotions. There's a sense where you had to like purge a lot of emotions. But I'm feeling the sense of like renewal, recharge, reinvigoration. So I really like that to start. So let's see what you got for your cards. Yeah, the Fool. This is the Blood and Honey Major Arcana deck. And I use this as like an archetypes deck for myself. Yeah, perfect. I already love that. Ooh, this is an actual archetypes deck I use. So there are ones where, as you can see, this deck has like 3 or 4 cards where you can make your own, but I left them blank. And I'll explain why in a little bit, but I wanted to acknowledge that you got one of the blank ones. The Blue Flame, Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, Integration Time. Oh, this is good. Okay, and energy healing. Okay, your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. Yes, 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 yes. So some of you, if you've been thinking about doing energy work, either for yourself or like pursuing that as a career. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my shirt. This is a great sign. Yeah, sorry, I recently have started doing energy healing work with clients, so I was like, oh, that's really, really neat that came out. Just that popped into my head for a second. Okay, anyway, so I want to talk about these 2 cards together, first and foremost. This is why this one came out. So again, this is for me, when the blank ones come out, this can indicate an energy that is not meant to be known yet. It's still kept secret. This can be an energy that is not fully formed or defined yet. Excuse me. Or an energy where, so if I were to use this deck for like, you know, looking into a person's like their realist self or their intentions, and this card came out, this could indicate somebody who their real energy is so drastically different than anything they're presenting that it's like unrecognizable. So here, what this means for me because I feel like it's paired with this blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. There are aspects of self that have yet to be integrated, but they are about to. You're about to go through a a huge integration, and this integration is going to change who you know yourself to be. This is a BFD. This is probably why you've been emotionally purging your ass off, is because you are about to emerge into a completely different version of yourself that you wouldn't even recognize. I also like how in this version of the Fool, it kind of looks like she's like, you know, like bending energy almost, right? This is a totally new journey for you. There is integration, possibly Akashic integration, but this is integration of your healing capabilities. And this was not going to happen like a moment too soon. This is very divinely guided. This was like, this was not going to come to you any earlier than when it does, right? It had to happen when it needed to happen. There's a bigger plan here at play. So some of you might be like, well, why didn't this happen before? Or I'm almost picking up this energy of like, let's say like a year ago, you started embarking on a new career and then bam, this happens whenever, you know, not too long from now, this like activation happens and it's taking you in a totally different direction. It's kind of like, why couldn't this have come? Am I sweaty? You guys, I'm like, that's sweaty. I'm sorry. It's kind of like, why couldn't this have come up when it's really hot in this room? It's like, why couldn't this have come up when I was like reevaluating my career? Because it had to happen exactly when it happened. And I know that's really frustrating and we all get really annoyed with divine timing. I hear you. I feel you. But that's like kind of what's going on. So the self that you're emerging into is a version of self that you have yet to meet. Like some of you, it's almost like you get whispers of this, right? The moments, those blessed moments when you're sitting in the quiet by yourself, you can almost hear this person like calling to you, right? This version of yourself calling to you. But this has been kept from you for a very, very specific reason, this part of yourself. So you might find that like as you are going through this integration, you are showing up in a totally different way than you ever have before. This is like overnight change. For some of you, your tastes are going to change. You're going to be like, oh, I used to love this thing and now I can't stand it. Or like, I used to hate this and now I'm all about this food. For some of you, I will say this is activated by a pregnancy. I am seeing that for some of you. But this is a totally new journey, right? So this is kind of the archetype you're stepping into. There's this Fool energy where anything is possible. But there's this energy of somebody who's ready to take on the challenge. And that's, I think, exactly what I was picking up on with this energy, because the Fool's already processed their old cycles and is like processed through their baggage and has released it. That's why why they can travel so lightly and why they are, you know, facing the world with optimism. They're not carrying all this stuff from the past. Excuse me. Again, for some of you, energy healing is crucial here. So this might be for some, you might have a Reiki session that like changes your life. For some, you might be doing, excuse me, like Akashic integration through Reiki, or like Reiki and Akashic integration at the same time. But for others, energy healing is a part of your life path. It is a part of what you will offer to the collective. I want to know, because there's stuff that they're not going to say, right? Because it has to be experienced. I want to know a little bit more about, I'm being called to like clarify the Fool. So this like version of self that is emerging, I feel like it mostly speaks about your journey, but there are going to be so many surprises. I want to look at this card but not take it. Yeah, we have the Eight of Swords. I always love the cat on this. We have the Eight of Swords. So there's things that are being kept from you, and that's very intentional. Yep, the High Priestess, exactly. Things that are being kept from you, Pisces energy showing up, for very spiritual reasons and for a higher purpose. I know it's annoying, but we get the messages we get here. So let's clarify. The Three of Wands. I do have to say this. Some of you, this is going to be triggered either by somebody turning their back on you, but for a lot, this is going to be you turning your back on somebody else. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting. The King of Wands, okay. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Ten of Pentacles reversed. There it is. And the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so this is exactly what I mean. What this is going to be kind of like, you know, first of all, with these clarifying the Fool. There's a sense where with the King of Wands, you are taking control. You might be putting something out there to the public. You are spiritually evolved and ready to offer your wisdom and your spiritual gifts to the public, right? Because this is the wand suit is the spiritual energy, but this is the masculine energy principle, meaning it is externally oriented and offered to others. Sorry, the facial expression on the cat here always makes me laugh. Like, so you have reached a place, and I feel like this is many lifetimes. This is like who you are at the soul. You have reached a place over many lifetimes of this spiritual maturation, right? This full evolvement. And this is what we see with the blue flame, right? Spontaneous awakening and activation and integration time. So you're integrating the work you've done in many different past lives. Now, you know, there is a sense with the Fool that you know what you're doing. You are, even though you're going to be like, you're going to be starting a new path. You might be a newcomer is a word I'm getting. Starting seemingly as a novice, you're going to pick it up and you're going to pick it up quick. And you're going to feel like you've been doing this forever. This is an old hat for you. Like it's not, you know, it's not something that is super challenging for you. You're going to feel right at home. Pardon my stray hairs, they're driving me nuts. And this is because you have experience with this. You've done this before. But it was interesting we were talking about with the Three of Wands, right? The Three of Wands is really all about seeking, you know, this is your ships coming in, your plans paying off, looking toward the future. So you're going to be moving toward this future. But like I said, this might be either like centered around or, you know, kind of like set off by somebody possibly turning their back on you, but I feel it's you turning your back on somebody else for many of you. And what this has to do with the Ten of Pentacles is reverse. You could be turning your back on family. You could be turning your back on somebody who has been with you for a long time. For some, it's not a person necessarily, because the Ten of Pentacles is generational inheritance, right? Positive or negative. This has gone on for a long time. And there's a sense here that someone or something that has been with you for a very long time, that has given you some sense of security that has always been there, is no longer. And I think with the Two of Pentacles, this is why, like, there's the Two of Pentacles for me, especially when it's reversed more than anything else, but even upright can speak about a reprioritization process, because you're trying to kind of juggle these two different things, these two aspects of self. You're going back and forth. And I feel like there's going to be a period of time where, like, you might go back and forth of, like, I feel called to take this path, but I've got to let this thing or this person go. This even could be for some of you, you'd be moving away from like a family home or where your whole family lives. It doesn't have to be, what is this thing? And I'm sorry that I'm sweaty. What is this thing? The Lovers. Okay. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius showing up, and now we have Gemini. I want to take this as well. And the King of Cups reversed. Oh boy. And the Three of Swords reversed at the bottom. Now we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. For some, you're letting go of a love relationship. This is somebody with the Three of Swords in reverse with all the hearts here, who you love very much, but who has also hurt you very much. It feels like you guys had a long-standing... it could either be that you had a long-standing thing or there was a lot of potential. You guys could have had many past lives together and you were wrapping something up. But there's a desire with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, the Lovers, the King of Cups reverse. There's love here between you and this person. There's love in this situation, but there's no emotional stability. And that's the rub here, is like I feel like I'm hearing like F's with your energy. It wrecks your energy for some of you. And I feel like what you guys are going to be deciding instead is to reprioritize and say like, yeah, I do love you with my heart and soul, or, if this is like a family home, yeah, I do have so much love for this place. I have so much love for my family, but at the end of the day, this is how it is, right? Yeah, there's all this love, but this is how it plays out. There is instability. There is, chaos. There can be reactivity. Yeah, that's right, reactivity. Somebody's reactive. I don't know, that sounded weird to me. This person can make you second guess or doubt yourself. And there's a sense here where I feel like you need to let this situation, I keep wanting to say person, let this person or situation go, because it's just not stable for you. And for some of you, that's the awakening. That's the aha moment. The epiphany is like, especially with the Three of Wands, it's like there is no future here. There's love. There is a bond, but there's no future. And there's no future that leaves me feeling stable and grounded and good about myself. And so I feel like this next version of self, again, we have that emotional purging energy. This next version of self is going to be you activating and integrating and finding what is real and true for you and really prioritizing that. I want to just pull you guys kind of like a couple cards of like advice real quick before I close this out for you. The Ace of Swords, don't be afraid of your own truth. They're cutting the little kitty's nails here, so there's something about like don't be afraid to say what you need to say. Some of you are very afraid of hurting somebody's feelings, which is admirable, but there's a sense here where you've choked yourself off as a result. Yeah, exactly. The King of Swords reversed and the Three of Swords reversed. You have really been through something with this person and you've held back a lot. We have a lot of masculine energy coming through. It is time for you to live your truth, whether you say it out loud to them, whether you affirm it for yourself. It's time for you to live your truth. You have earned this, and it's really, really important to you moving forward. Yeah, the Five of Cups reversed. We have the month May showing up on the calendar, so May might be an important time frame, but it's really important so you can release this grief and you can move forward. So I think that's everything that I've got for you guys today. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope I get the chance to read for you again real soon. Take care. Bye. Beep bop. Doodle bop. Hi, group 3. I don't know, I'm immediately getting this sense. So you guys picked, first of all, the Adventuring. Amazonite might also be important then. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm immediately getting the sense of like slight annoyance. So you guys might be kind of like in this place of like feeling a little cynical lately, or like, you know, skeptical. Like, yeah, we'll see, buddy, is kind of the vibe. That's okay. That's all right. So I'm immediately picking that up. There's something where let the universe surprise you. Let the universe surprise you. I think you'll be surprised. So, yeah, let's take a look at your cards. The High Priestess. Ooh, you could be a Pisces or dealing with one. And I always use, this is the Blood and Honey Major Arcana deck, and I use it kind of like an Archetypes deck. Oracle cards. Wow, you guys are psychic as hell, especially like in your psychic bag right now. You are able to discern answers and guidance for yourself and others. Yes, yes, yes. Warrior. The light attributes are strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice, and conquering the ego. I don't know why, but this was giving me a similar energy to the archetype that came out for group 1. So for some, if you were torn between the two, you might want to watch that as well. And Breath of the Cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Okay, so you guys are emerging into this version of self. You've been through... Excuse me, you've been through a lot, spiritually speaking, energetically. And you fought really hard in trying to conquer the ego, but it has definitely taken a toll. A lot of you guys are very in touch with your spirituality, with your psychic gifts. You have a good relationship with the universe, but you have been through enough that it is making you kind of question and doubt that relationship, right? My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. You know a lot, but surrendering the need to know or surrendering the need to understand might be something that you're working on. Some of you, you've had your intuition restricted. It's like, because she's got the eye on her hand, and for me, the hands are always about what we can do, what we can make. You've had your intuition restricted, or like when restricted access to like take action on your intuitive hits. You haven't known what to do next. I see that for some of you, because you've been in this cycle of like overcoming quite a lot. And there's a sense here where a lot of you guys are kind of like, you're still here, but you're frustrated, and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do next, right? So there's a sense here where for some, this next phase is going to be the revelation. Like, it's finally going to be, revealed to you about what the next steps are. Very Piscean energy, very 12th house energy. So you might have placements there. But it's going to be like this next, yeah, this is like going to all be about like, whoo, okay, fine. I almost didn't take a card and then it went flying out. What the next steps are. You're finally getting that information. You're finally getting that knowledge so you can move forward. Yeah, the Six of Wands, because it's time for a victory. Whatever kind of holdups or confusion has been happening, it served its purpose. Justice reversed. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. And then the Ten of Swords. Yeah, there we go. The Ten of Swords. Yeah, this is what I mean. You guys have been through something. And I feel like, I don't want to say it was a test of your faith, but there's a sense here where like, you've been through something very painful, a very long-standing karmic cycle. For some, this is like a major relationship ended. Just like this is like someone did you dirty. Something happened and it stabbed you in the back. And it felt very unfair at a cosmic level. And I think a lot of you guys have been hanging on, trying to find the point, trying to see what to do. Like, and again, this is where I feel like there's something of like, I'm going to trust you that there's a point to this. But like, I have very little tolerance for BS. And with the Wheel of Fortune, you've been kind of surrendering to like, I'm going to trust that this has a purpose. I'm going to trust that everything is always working out for me. And a lot of you are finally getting information to confirm that, information to help, again, restore with the Six of Wands, restore a sense of victory. You're getting insight about how to utilize something to your favor. You're getting insight about why something happened. The Queen of Swords reversed, because I feel like you guys are very smart. First of all, you're very smart. Death reversed at the bottom. So you're very smart. You're very wise, which are two different things. It's hard. You're very tuned in. So it's hard for things to be kept from you. There was an integral lesson that had to be learned from this situation that if you had the knowledge and awareness, you may have accidentally bypassed the experience, right? So that might be a thing for you guys. You might be very cerebral and want to know everything. And that might be the way that you micromanage the universe. Like, I want to know everything, but some things really have to be learned through experience. And like, if that's you, hi, let's be friends, because me too. I was like this, I don't ever pick a pile because I don't want to influence my interpretation with my own situations, but so I roll for it, I roll a dice for it later, and I'm like, I bet you this is mine. But there's a sense here where like, this has been the lesson, right? And it's kind of, the part of this process has been about letting things unfold, and this is why information has been specifically kept from you, or why an understanding of what has been presented to you has been distorted, because there's something that you had to experience. That Queen of Swords reversed, it's like, it's not about knowing the right answer, it's about the wisdom that you're gaining from the experience. It's about again, learning from experience. And with Death at the bottom in reverse, it's been very hard for you to move past this, and that's why I feel like this information is now coming in, because you've reached a point of you are ready to learn this, to like get this information and learn this lesson. Strength, you've been very patient. The Queen of Cups, oh, okay. And the Emperor reverse. So for some, this Emperor in reverse is the one who did this. You want me to get him? We have Aries, Leo, and then Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You know, we have that Queen of Swords in reverse. This is what the experience was. The experience was to get out of your head and tune into the heart space. It's not about who's right, it's about how it makes you feel. It's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. Being able to tune into your emotional wisdom. Because I feel like with the Emperor, there's something where this was mirroring back ways where, you're a boss. You a boss, bitch. Like, you're usually in control. You're making good decisions. You're making, again, very smart. You're making very intelligent decisions. And this is somebody who has a lot of control. But this situation wasn't about that. This was about you being able to tune into the depths of how you're feeling. For some, to express yourself. For some, this was to help you vent emotions that have been very repressed for a long time. Again, I feel like if you pick this group, you tend to focus on information. You tend to prioritize the head over the heart. And this entire situation was meant to help you tune into those feelings that, yeah, the Ace of Wands reversed, to help you tune into those feelings that needed to be purged, because it's kept you from the new beginning that you have been asking for quite a long time in the King of Wands. Yeah. So this version of self that is emerging is that you're getting very much in alignment with your intuition, but I feel like your intuition is going to start making more sense to you. There's a balance between your knowledge and your emotional knowledge of self. The Magician is going to help you manifest what you want, because you're getting more in touch with how things make you feel and what you actually want, what will make you happy. A lot of you guys might do all the manifestation stuff, but you can't manifest, and that's because your heart's not in it. And that's because you had to get in touch with your feelings. Like, I bet you anything this is my pile. King of Wands. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, exactly. And then the Seven of Wands. This is what I mean. This is a master manifester. You have the ability to create so much and to be able to create things that other people are drawn to. Very magnetic energy. But you haven't been able to manifest the way you've been wanting to because of this. Because there were blind spots. And it had a lot to do with defensiveness. You might have this kind of thing of like, I got to go after what I want. I got to defend it. You know, always like, you might be like very much in your masculine energy usually. Like, you're always like going after things instead of, you may have had a block toward receiving. So the reason why all this has happened is because, again, you couldn't manifest what you want because there are things that there were things that you were still holding on to, you were defending yourself against, and this was all at a very subconscious level, but it kept you stuck. I also just love that cat's expression. It kept you stuck. And it kept you holding on to something, because it's the empty toilet paper roll. It kept you holding on to something that was already done. It was already over. There's nothing left to learn. And this situation was meant to kind of help you purge those emotions and like finally release that, finally be ready to move forward. So this next version of self is going to be somebody who is incredibly balanced between their emotions, their intuition, and somebody who is in touch with their own personal power. And their own personal power to create what they want, because you're more in touch with what you want. So I want to just pull you kind of a couple cards to close out this reading. King of Pentacles. Look at that. So much masculine energy. The King of Swords reversed. And the Ace of Swords. I feel like this is, again, kind of the King of Cups reversed. This is kind of talking about, there is a sense here of, instead of trying to logic your way through something, there's kind of this idea of like, if you're going to build something, you're going to manifest something, you're going to create something, make it something that you want to pour your time and energy into, something that feels stable for you, instead of just something that makes sense. And I feel like with the Ace of Swords, excuse me, this next version of self is getting very, very clear on what is supportive to them, what feels good, what is for them, and what is not. So I think that's just about everything I've got for you guys today. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I hope I get the chance to read for you again soon. Take care. Bye.